Hello, my name is Neil Curry. I'm the Senior GIS Resource Educator at Cornell Cooperative Extension Dutchess County GIS Lab. It's part of the Environment and Energy Program. And I'm going to talk about a storm drain mapping project that was completed mostly by a GIS resource volunteer with our association. His name is Mark Knepp. He's a student at Marist College. And he embarked on this project last year with the mayor of Wappinger Falls, Matt Alexander. And it's an interesting project, one that I wanted to help them out with. So the project started in the fall of 2012. I got a call from Matt Alexander expressing his interest in doing this and said he had an intern who was willing to do it. Mark had gone through, he was a student at Marist College, and he had taken the GIS course there and wanted to use his GIS skills, knew he could do this, and with a little bit of help from me. So Matt gave me a call, connected me with Mark. We met and talked about the need and how we would do it. So the main need was to map the storm drains for the purpose of storm drain maintenance. Some of these are in various stages of condition and repair, and there's a need to keep them clear before and after storms. We're getting more frequent and more intense storms in the Northeast in general, and in the Hudson Valley in particular, and that's just a big concern. And then also anticipating future MS4 requirements that Wappinger Falls may need to meet as an MS4 community in Dutchess County. Right now, they have mapped all of their outfalls, and they've met the requirements so far. But there may be some future requirements to map the entire stormwater system, including the storm drains and all the connections, and that's currently being done in the east of Hudson communities in the east of Hudson, New York City watershed, which is overlies parts of 2 or 3 communities in southeast Dutchess County. That effort's currently being headed up by the county's Soil and Water Conservation District, and right now, the village of Wappinger Falls isn't required to meet that standard, but they anticipate that they may need to in the future. So part of the idea with this project is to get a bit of a head start on that. So what we did to prepare for this is to sit down and talk about the kinds of information about the storm drains that would need to be collected out in the field. So that would include things like the condition, the type of storm drain, the size, the material, and to put that into a data sheet that Mark could take out into the field, to create a spreadsheet to hold all of that data once he came back in from the field, and then of course to get him ready using the GPS and able to download that information to a computer. So then to go out and actually do it, Mark went out with the GPS, collected the information, took his field data sheet with him, and collected all the information about the storm drains that we determined was needed. Then I went in afterward, after Mark collected all that information, put it all in a spreadsheet, downloaded the GPS points. I went and then associated those GPS locations with all of the spreadsheet records for each site, and also the photos that Mark took out with his smartphone while he was out there, and then put those into a map. So this is the first cut of trying to display this in a map in a meaningful way for the village. And what we did is put the information into ArcGIS Online, which is a free online mapping system, and we're able to display the points based on the condition that Mark collected when he was out in the field. So from a 0 to 5 scale, 0 being in the poorest condition and 5 in the best condition, based on some criteria I think he spoke with Matt about, we were able to display that as a range of colors going from red to green, and then orange and light yellow would be sort of in the middle. And so from that, when we look at that across the whole village, we can see there's a couple of hot spots and a couple areas where some storm drains need mapping. So the area to the south end of the village, area over on the east end along Route 9, and then maybe a couple of spots a little bit more central in the village that look like they need attention. So we're able to display this information in a number of different ways in ArcGIS Online or other mapping software based on the information that Mark collected and that we associated with each of these sites. So to see, we can actually look at the table. Essentially, we're looking at the spreadsheet that Mark collected of all the information Mark collected when he's out in the field. And we're able to associate all that information with each point in the map. So the site that's selected right now is site number 96. And you can see all of the attributes such as the condition, which is 5. So that's one that's in little or no need of repair or attention. Debris type, material, lining, so this is a steel grate. Storm drain, as most of them are, lined by concrete with certain depth. Looks like the direction that the water is flowing as it drains through is going to the northeast. And Mark also measured the dimensions. There's a number of other attributes that he collected out there that are associated with each site. So one thing I mentioned before is that Mark took photos of each site as well. And we're able to associate those with the storm drains as well. So we were looking at a table a moment ago that showed all the information associated with each site. Now we've closed that table, but we can click on each individual point and up will pop a little pop-up window with that same information just displayed vertically instead of horizontally. If you scroll down to the bottom of that window, you'll see that there is an image, a photo of that particular storm drain. And we can also change, just as a bit of an aside, we can change the base map of this as well. So you can see I'm looking at the same site. I'm zoomed in a little bit, but I've now changed the base map to an aerial photo. This is all being served off online. You don't need to download any of this to your computer. So this is all viewed through a web browser. So you can change the base map from here, which is a topographic map, to here, which is an aerial photo. And there are a number of other base maps that you can access as well. These are the two that I use most often and that I think are the most useful. And then when you click on that photo in the pop-up window, you'll be brought to a larger version of it, which I have currently uploaded to my Google account. And that necessarily needs to be shared with everyone. So it's shared out to the world. I don't think many people are going to find it, but it's publicly available. And we talked this morning at the Wappinger Municipal Council meeting about how that may be an issue. So we may need to address that and make sure that that is private information. Right now, the map and the data is on my account. You can only get to it if you log into ArcGIS Online using my account, but it links to photos that are stored on a third-party service. And you could easily use Flickr or any other third-party image sharing service, but it seems to be the case that the photos need to be at least available to the public in order to be consumed in this way in the pop-up window here in ArcGIS Online. There may be a way around that. I'm still trying to work that out for myself right now, but I will be meeting with the mayor of Wappingers Falls and any village staff that'll be involved in maintaining this, and we'll work out some of these issues, what the actual requirements are, what the security requirements are, and come up with something that works the best. I'm looking at Google Maps. There's a couple of different capabilities in Google Maps, or even a simple desktop GIS software. I want to avoid that if possible, but we'll see. It's one of several issues that we'll have to talk about and work out so that they end up with a solution that's going to work best for them. So I've already talked a little bit about what I see as the kind of pros and cons of using ArcGIS Online, which is the mapping system that I was just displaying in the last couple of slides. That's what we've used to map these points. And there are a couple of other online tools we might use, or desktop software. And so I think there's some pros and cons that I'll discuss with the mayor and village staff to try and work out what's sort of the best solution here. I'm not going to go into these in any more detail, but the features I think we're really looking for, the capabilities we're looking for, are these. We want to be able to link and display photos associated with each site, and do that in a way that's really easily accessible and secure if necessary. So restricting access to the map and photos may be necessary as well. So we want to look at that and what capabilities these different systems have to do that. Obviously needs to be updated relatively easily. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time training, and then if folks don't use this for a few weeks or a few months at a time, it's hard to come back to it and pick it up again. So it should be relatively simple, so that when folks do need to edit it, you don't have to read a big manual or a big book again, or have to call me to figure it out from scratch all over again. Should be relatively intuitive and easy to update. With that said, it also needs to be something that I can accomplish in a reasonable amount of time, so that I can provide support to other communities and to work on the other projects. So we juggle a lot of projects around now because of our funding situation right now, and so I want to provide the best support that I can to the village, but also in a reasonable amount of time, so that I can attend to other requests and other projects. So finally, here are some of the possible solutions that I've been investigating. We were looking at the data using ArcGIS Online. There are a couple of tools in Google Maps, Map Engine Lite, Spreadsheet Mapper, and Forms and Fusion Tables. This is kind of new territory for me, so there may be a little time investment to put this in place, and we'll just see what I think is going to suit the need best. Desktop software, there's a couple of different options. ArcGIS and ArcGIS Explorer and ArcReader are not really editing tools. They're a good viewer, and that might be all that's necessary digitally. QGIS or Quantum GIS is an open source desktop GIS software. Learning curve on that is a little high, but it does allow you to view and edit the data, and that may be a possible solution. So the best thing really will be to talk about the needs with village staff, and that discussion will lead to what the best technical solution will be as far as what system to put this data in, so that it's easily maintained by them. It doesn't take me an inordinate amount of time to set up, and it can be somewhat secure, and that access can be restricted to only the folks that really need to be able to view it and or edit it. So that's all I'm going to speak about with this particular project, and when we do come up with a final solution, happy to present about it again to the Wappinger Creek Intermunicipal Council, or any other folks in the community who think that this might be useful for them. Thanks.